Britney Spears' ex-husband has officially snapped, and this time, he's not holding back. After years of staying mostly silent, Jason Alexander just fired a brutal shot at Kevin Federline, and what he said about Britney's past has the entire internet in shock. Kevin's been making headlines again with his upcoming tell-all book, a book that, according to Jason, twists the truth and drags Britney's name through the mud all over again. But Jason isn't just defending his ex, he's exposing what he calls the real story behind the chaos. And if what he's claiming is even half true, then Kevin's image as the concerned ex-husband might be completely shattered. Because as Jason puts it, you don't get to tell half the story, not when you were part of the problem. But that's only the beginning. Kevin Federline thought his new memoir, You Thought You Knew, would finally let him set the record straight. But instead, it's lighting social media on fire, and not in a good way. In the leaked excerpts, Kevin paints a disturbing picture of Britney Spears, describing late-night moments where she supposedly stood in her son's doorway, holding a knife and watching them sleep. The claim alone sent shockwaves across Hollywood and left fans questioning his motives. Many people are calling it a desperate move, a final attempt to stay relevant now that Britney's child support payments have ended. Even longtime followers of the pop star see it as another chapter in the long history of people using Britney's pain for profit. Kevin insists he's just telling his truth, but critics say it's exploitation, plain and simple, especially since his story just happens to come out right after Britney's own memoir, The Woman in Me, where she finally got to share her side of things. And that's when Jason Alexander decided he couldn't stay quiet any longer. Just when Kevin Federline thought he had the spotlight all to himself, Britney's first husband, Jason Alexander, stepped in. And he didn't hold back. In a fiery Instagram post, Jason blasted Kevin for profiting off Britney's pain, accusing him of twisting the truth to fit his narrative. He wrote, "Kevin, you don't get to tell half the story, not when you were in the middle of it." Jason reminded fans that he's known Britney since childhood, long before the fame, the conservatorship, and the chaos. And according to him, Kevin wasn't just an innocent bystander during Britney's struggles. He was part of the problem. Alexander claimed Federline fed off the drama, then walked away with full custody, hefty child support, and a comfortable lifestyle, funded by the same woman you now want to distance yourself from. His words hit hard, especially for fans who've watched Britney fight for her freedom and rebuild her life piece by piece. But Jason didn't stop there. He ended his post with a message that cut even deeper, urging Kevin to be real and take accountability for his own role in Britney's darkest years. And as his post went viral, the internet quickly took sides. Jason Alexander didn't hold back, not even a little. In a fiery Instagram post, Britney's ex-husband tore into Kevin Federline with accusations that left fans stunned. He claimed Kevin had been feeding off Britney's pain for years, profiting from her struggles while pretending to be a victim. According to Alexander, Federline wasn't just a bystander during Britney's darkest moments. He was part of the problem. He accused him of rewriting history in his new memoir, conveniently leaving out the times he allegedly benefited from Britney's fame and money. "Kevin, you don't get to tell half the story," Alexander wrote, "not when you were in the middle of it." He also implied that Kevin's new book was nothing more than a cash grab, a way to stay in the spotlight now that his financial ties to Britney have ended. The post quickly went viral, with fans torn between disbelief and outrage. Some applauded Jason for standing up for Britney, while others pointed out that his own past with her, including his infamous 55-hour marriage, doesn't exactly make him a moral authority. But one thing's for sure, his words reignited a firestorm around Britney's name, just as she seemed to be finding peace again. Britney's camp wasted no time firing back, and their response was as sharp as it was emotional. In a statement to E! News, her team accused Kevin Federline of yet again profiting off Britney, pointing out the timing of his new memoir, which just happens to drop right after his child support payments reportedly ended. They didn't mince words, suggesting that this so-called book isn't about truth or healing. It's about money and attention. The statement read, "With news from Kevin's book breaking, once again he and others are profiting off her, and sadly it comes after child support has ended with Kevin." According to Britney's reps, the pop icon's main focus isn't defending herself anymore. It's protecting her sons, Sean Preston and Jaden James, from all this media noise. All she cares about is her kids and their well-being during this sensationalism, they emphasized. Her team also reminded everyone that Britney already told her truth, in her own words, through her best-selling memoir, The Woman in Me. Everything she needed to say is already out there, and as fans began revisiting her book, one thing became clear. Britney's still standing strong, even as old ghosts from her past try to haunt her again. The internet didn't hold back. Within hours, social media exploded with reactions to Kevin Federline's shocking book claims and Jason Alexander's fiery response. On X, formerly Twitter, hashtags like "Leave Britney Alone" and "Team Britney" started trending again, with fans rallying behind the pop star and accusing Federline of trying to cash in on her pain. One user wrote, "Kevin had years of child support, and now he's writing fan fiction for profit." Another added, "Britney already told her story. Why can't these men let her heal in peace?" Even longtime followers of the Just Free Britney movement resurfaced, calling Federline's claims manipulative and dangerously misleading. Others pointed out that this controversy feels like déjà vu. Another round of the same narrative where Britney's silence gets twisted while others profit off her name. Meanwhile, Jason Alexander's Instagram post drew massive attention too. Some praised him for speaking up while others questioned his motives, given his own controversial history with Britney. Still, the majority agreed on one thing. The public is done watching people dig into Spears' past for fame or fortune. As the drama unfolded, fans flooded Britney's recent Instagram posts with love and support, reminding her that the world still sees her as a survivor, not a headline. At this point, the question hanging over everything isn't just what happened. It's who's really telling the truth. Kevin Federline's book paints a dark, unsettling picture of Britney's behavior, but critics say it feels more like a desperate attempt to stay relevant now that the child support checks have stopped. Jason Alexander, on the other hand, positions himself as Britney's defender, yet his own past controversies make his credibility a major question mark. And in the middle of it all is Britney Spears, silent but not defeated. Her reps insist she's focused on her peace, her kids, and her recovery. After years of being controlled, analyzed, and misrepresented, she's finally learning to live life on her own terms. So while the world debates who's right and who's wrong, one truth remains. Britney's story has always been told by others. Maybe it's time we let her version, the real one, be the last word.